What's up, guys? Episode 7 of Fill in the Blank. I've got Syed here. I'm super psyched to talk to this guy. This episode is going to be lit, and I never use that word. So episode 7, it's the lucky one. We're going to start it now. 3, 2, 1, boom.
Yeah me feel good to be an immigrant. When we order lunch, it's only chili shrimp. Mixing up masala with the militant. Shooters on die, but the smile very innocent. Who that did?
All right. We're in it. What's up, man?
Hey, bro. How are you?
I'm doing great, dude. I'm super psyched you're here. Thank you so much for getting on this, man.
No, thank you for having me.
It's kind of cool when, obviously, I'm a fan. I've got the hoodies. I follow the journey.
I love it, bro.
I hit you up on Instagram, and you just hit me right back, right? And I was like, that's so cool. Like, your story is super inspirational. I'm super excited for people to hear it. And you're kind of one of those stories that I think that this podcast was made for. So, why don't you kind of, for the people who are watching, why don't you kind of give them the comic book, the origin story, kind of what kind of kids were you? How did you come up, and kind of how that's moved into now?
Yeah, sure. So, first of all, my name is Abu Said, and I'm currently the founder of Wildhood Clothing. I'm the founder and garbage man, so I do in between.
Good title.
Right now, I'm living in Canada, but my journey actually started. I'm originally from Bangladesh. I grew up in a small village. It's like only, I think, 4,000 to 5,000 people.
Wow.
It's in the north part of Bangladesh. So if you want me to give you an example that how I grew up, in the whole village that I grew up, that no one owns a fridge, So I grew up in that environment, my dream was as a child to own a fridge, because to me it was like, a magic.
Yeah.
That like if you put water in a machine and it's give you the ice cubes, So yeah, I started my journey in that village. Then I grew up and moved to, after my college, I moved to the city. The capital city of Bangladesh is Dhaka. And then I started to, see things differently, chasing people. I see all the hustle, bustle and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people like all of them are trying to be a part of the machine, wake up, go work, come back, just like pay your debt.
Yeah.
Pay your debt, eat, sleep, and die.
Yeah.
I didn't want to repeat that same thing. And then I wanted to do something on my own. I thought like I wanted to be the machine. Then how could I do that? So I was like looking for opportunities. I was trying to do things differently. And I think I noticed somewhere in a paper that Canada is a land of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And whereas it was extremely difficult, I don't say like people were not making it in my country, they were, but like it was difficult for me where I came from to break in that market, or in the society of the norm where like people actually, in Asia, the culture is different.
Mm-hmm.
The value based on your degree, based on like how big position of a job you're holding, whereas like I didn't want it to do 9 to 5. I wanted to be my own boss and be free. And didn't want it to have the regret, in my 80s, 90s that what if? So one question of what if, why not? I tried, I applied for a work permit. I got a job in Canada. I came and started working as a pizza man. I started working in a kitchen. I worked from 9 to 5 for first years. And then I was looking for there's a lot of time, I didn't know anyone. I from nothing. I just came only with like 2 backpacks of clothes. I didn't know anyone. I did not know English. So I taught myself in here with the people, in exchange, I taught them some Bengali language.
Yeah.
And I have had like so many different, so much time in my hand that I could actually use. So I was looking for opportunities that what can I do? Then slowly I was like, in order to do something, I got to have money, which I didn't have. So what I did is actually, after working for 9 to 5 for first year, I did save some money. I bought a car for $900. I learned how to drive, got my license, permit, everything. Then I started doing pizza deliveries from 5 to 3 a.m. in the morning. So after 9 to 5, 5 to 3, I worked straight at 3 years.
Whoa.
Every single day. And in the same time, I was just maintaining a long distance relationship with my girlfriend, now my wife. So
Wow.
I was really, and I didn't go out. I didn't eat in a restaurant. I didn't eat in a, like a nice place. I just saved, and saved. So with that $900 car, which allows me to actually do pizza delivery, and I was able to save $28,000.
Wow.
And
Over
with
how many years?
I think I saved it like in 2 years.
Okay. Wow. Still.
And it's cash money, right?
Yeah.
So with that money, I actually started my clothing brand, which now that we're selling worldwide. I think we have sold so far in 19 different countries.
Wow.
And I did make this collaboration with David Rock,
Yeah.
a videographer of Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is how.
Wow. Dude, oh my God, there's so much to go into. I mean, the first thing we have to talk about is, I mean, the love story. That could be a movie. I mean, are you like, so how did you meet your girlfriend? So you met your girlfriend first when you were in Bangladesh?
I was in Bangladesh. It was in 2008, and I came here in 2013.
Was she supportive of the move to come to US, or was she kind of like, I don't know, man?
Yes, actually, like she wasn't sure, but I mean, she was always supportive. She's still supportive. She's like, I think that the best thing that happened for me is her.
Yeah.
And she's the strength, and I would say like encouragement, inspiration.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's still supporting me, and she supported me. She went through some hard time because, a long distance relationship is hard. And I'm apart. It takes me like 38 hours to get to my country.
Where do you have to connect? Would you fly out of Toronto?
So I fly from here, I'm in Newfoundland.
Okay.
So I fly from here to Toronto to maybe Dubai or Qatar, or from Qatar to Bangladesh.
And your family is still there? Your family's still in Bangladesh?
Yes, my family is still Bangladesh, but my wife came here and joined me. So we're living together for almost 2.5, 3 years now.
Wow. That's amazing,
Happy man.
So, I mean, so those times where, you were working, you were late, were you guys just on WhatsApp, or were you on Skype? Like, how did you guys communicate?
Yeah, like it was crazy, man. Like if I just look back right now, I'm like being nostalgic, like thinking of these things. Like I have had I came home, I started cooking for myself, and I got a phone call from my country. I was on my phone call, then I got a phone call for a pizza delivery. I was on call.
Wow. Yeah.
I stopped cooking, stopped the phone call, did my job, came back, So it was hard. It was hard. Especially we used, I think, WhatsApp, Fiverr, and Skype. Yes.
Got it. I remember Fiverr.
Yep.
Wow. That's insane. So she came over, and then, by that time she came over, did you already have an apartment, or were you guys kind of like living on how was the living situation?
So when I first came here, I was living with another roommate, in a 2-bedroom apartment. And once I started my business, after a while, I have made so many mistakes during the journey. All this money so I'm going to give you an example what I did. All this money I saved, I actually invested in, buying the inventory, like buying the products. So now our time came, like I did not have any money to operate the business.
Everything was on product.
Everything is gone.
Had you ever started a business prior to this, or no? This was the first business you ever started?
This is the first business I ever started, yes. So I did not know, I didn't study, and I don't right now necessarily think that it's mandatory that you have to study in order to do business, You figure it out, and you figure it out smartly, And the way I see, like I failed so many times. I failed like daily basis. I still fail. Yeah. But I think it gives, me the opportunity to start over more wisely, Like I'm learning firsthand. So I put all my money in inventory. I didn't have money to store my product somewhere else. I was living in I think 10 feet by 8 feet bedroom, and I had like so much inventory. I did not know inventory management or control. So what I had to do is actually, like I'm 5'9", collapse my bed, put my inventory in I still have pictures and videos on that app. And I was living in 5 feet space.
Wow.
Putting my, like a sofa cushion as a bed.
Wow.
I lived there for I think closely 6 months.
Uh-huh.
My roommate got married and he asked me to leave the apartment like this. With all these things, trying to figure out. Then I had to hustle again, get an apartment within the next 3-4 days, I would say, and moved out in 7 days. And since then, I'm still living in the same place.
Okay, where you are now.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Whew. I mean, so take me back a little bit. I mean, just to, a lot of the conversations we're having, just because, I'm an immigrant too, right? My family came from Peru and Puerto Rico. So I kind of had that immigrant mentality too. And growing up, my dad was like, okay, be a lawyer or be this, like anything that was a professional was kind of like very much like seen as stable. And my dad was more like that. My mom wasn't so much like that. So did you have you being now an entrepreneur in Canada, so far from home and doing your own thing, did your parents kind of look at you like, is this kid crazy? Or did you have brothers that were maybe made it easier to do that? Or how was that with the family dynamic?
I'm the eldest one in my family. I have 3 brothers, including me, and 2 sisters, right?
Got it.
So I'm kind of a lot of, what it called, pressure or pressure from the family, but I took it on my own because I need to look after them, So I mean, all of them are doing great. One of my brother is doing PhD in US, and another sister just finished her degree. Another brother is in university right now doing his degree. But so one of the things I got support is my dad always was scared. I think my dad, whatever he did did from scratch, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get anything from anyone. He didn't talk to anyone, and I think I got it from my dad. Yeah. But he was always scared because he knows how hard it is. He knows he wanted an easy life for his child.
Yep.
So
100%.
He wasn't I'd say okay, just do it.
Yeah.
My mom was like, you can, you should.
The mom was a cheerleader. She's like, come, I know you can do it. You're strong. Stuff like that.
Yeah. I know there's so much, so many arguments between my mom and dad. And if something goes wrong, my dad says, oh, I said that it's your son, what is it? It's just weird, but I feel the love, I feel that. But now everyone is happy, everyone feels proud, and my dad tell me how to operate business once. He said the thing you're doing is extremely hard. It's not the way he described is you are the last person to get paid.
The last person to get what?
Get paid.
Yeah.
And that way I see right now, for business or entrepreneurship or life, or relationship, it's planting a tree. Mm-hmm. You need to nurture it, you need to put fertilizer, you need to put, water it every day, you need to protect it from bad weather and all those stuff. And then the last thing you will get from the tree is a fruit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last thing.
Dude, how did you get so wise? So did you have people because that metaphor in general, right? It's funny because I'm in sales. I definitely got a lot of my business DNA from my dad. My dad is 100% entrepreneur too. I work in more corporate America, but I do sales, so I kind of help smaller companies grow big.
Okay.
And on the sales side for the business. So I mean, you learn by falling. You learn by being stupid.
Absolutely. There's no better way.
Who do you because just that analogy in general, how did you learn to kind of think like that? Because not everybody thinks like that. Some people think very tactical, very structured. They don't, when you make an analogy about a tree, there's a lot of freedom in that. There's a lot of nurturing. There's a lot of things that need to get done in there that keeps it light for me.
Yeah, I think it just comes naturally, automatically. I just think of, one of the things I try to, structure words or try to explain something is very natural, very easy. I don't overcomplicate things,
Got it. Where did you get that? That's just you? You just always been like that?
I don't know. Maybe I until you tell me, I didn't even
I love that.
Until you tell me, I didn't even thought that is a thing.
Yeah. It 100% is. somebody like me who, you know, and this is the first time you and I are talking face to face, which I love. I think that this sort of conversation is kind of how I really get to know people and how people get to know me. And I learn things about myself just by talking to you, right?
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
amazing. So thank you. That's very generous for you to take your time. But the point that I was getting to was that, you know, I think that me, right? It's kind of like I'm like a combination of different things that I encounter. The people that I meet, the people that I talk to, the conversations I sit, people that I have drinks with, people that I enjoy life with. I kind of take things from them, and then it becomes kind of like a product of that, right? So I don't know. I like always give it to them. It's like, hey, they did this, and then I kind of came out as a product of all of those things. So it's so cool to see someone like you who's from another part of the world, came here, has that mentality, and is kind of living life that way, right? It's kind of like, look, this is who I am. This is simple, right? Like, this is just, I don't know. I don't really think about it like that.
No, yeah, I think, you know, like the biggest strength of mine is, I think, so far, I think is the patience.
Yeah.
One, you
Yeah.
know, it's patience, patience, patience.
Yeah, it's huge.
Patience. Number three, patience. That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking of, you know. And number four, I would say like kindness. Kindness is kindness. You know, kindness, intention. You know, like how you're doing it, then why you're doing it is more important to me.
Mhm.
You know, empathy.
Yeah, empathy.
When I talk to someone else, I always put myself in their shoes,
Mhm.
as not knowing that what's happening in this person's life or business, or maybe he has someone in the hospital, you know,
Yeah.
fighting with life. I
100.
have no
Dude, yeah.
clue, you know. So I think like things like this actually like helps me be more humble,
Mhm.
you know. And honestly, I'm telling you one thing: the moment I wake up from sleep in the morning, you know, like in well, I mean, my health is well.
Mhm. Yeah.
Health, I'm happy as fuck. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse or not, but I'm
Yeah, of
happy.
course. You can curse as much as you want. I'm from New Jersey.
I'm
So, like,
happy and fast. Fuck.
yeah.
I'm just grateful, man.
Yeah.
Everything else in life is a bonus. Every single thing.
1,000%, bro.
Having this conversation with you right now is my success.
I love it. No, I
Forget
mean,
about the
dude,
money, forget about all this fame, you know, celebrating, selling like billions of dollars. It's just me sharing my life.
it's funny, right? Because my dad came here when he was 17 to US, right? He came with he came, his two brothers and his sister. So my aunt. And my aunt was like my second mom. She was very close. And she died, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So that was a big change. One of the things she told me when she was in the hospital was like, look, like all the stuff is great. She's like, I've lived life, I've had stuff, right? She's like, but without health, you can't do anything. Nothing. You can't do anything. So that always stuck with me. It's like all the stuff, all the cool, whatever, all that is great. But like without my health, I can't enjoy, I can't do, I can't give, I can't receive. So that always, like what you said, that struck me right there, you know, because
Yes.
I always carry that.
Yes.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Life is crazy,
It
you
is.
know, and
It
then
is.
we die.
And I mean,
You know,
stuff like
like
this just
the
happens.
way I see these things is like, you know, you are gonna die. Is
Yeah.
the human life. There's no exception. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you got, you will die. You
Yeah.
know? So
And you're
just
just creating. I mean,
just just do it.
so
Whatever you want to do, whatever you were waiting for to do.
I mean,
You know?
and it goes into the clothing. So I mean, when we're talking about somebody who's starting a clothing line, first off, what made you want to start clothes? And then second off, what gave you the vision to want to do like this, you know, the way you're branding, right? Because kind of what you're telling me makes me feel like that's part of the clothes. I mean, the dream life,
Yeah.
the work, like that whole mentality is manifested into clothes.
Yes. So what got me into clothing is like I said, that I was always looking for opportunities, that how can I add value? Either it's an existing thing or it's a new thing, that how can I create, you know? So when I came in here, one of the things that I have noticed from my friends is always complaining that they just bought something new, you know, and put it in the dryer and washer. It's just like gone bad, you know, loose.
Oh, yep.
being from a country, Bangladesh is the second largest garments exporter industry in the world.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Second, right after China.
Wow.
So I thought it would be easy for me to actually create some connections. So all of this things happens like without me knowing anything in garments industry. So what I did is actually I saved money, I fly back to Bangladesh and spend time. I made some connections beforehand, spend some times in the factories. I learned at some point I had to live even like in the factory floor, I like at night, like it was so far from my home to get back and get in the morning because of the traffic jam in Asia, in my country especially. So I had to sleep in there. I just want to learn. I just want to learn from all the stages of different kind of making clothing. It's just from scratch. I didn't want it to wanted someone to hold me hostages to the business.
Yeah.
Sitting in here, no one lied to me.
Yep.
I can just touch a fabric and I can tell like what's went in there.
Wow.
So this is what I was training for last 7-8 years, and I did travel a lot. And that's a cool story. I never paid for my travel. Like
really?
Yeah. So
How'd you do that?
I always try to find like ways to do things. So I try to find like what is it that has demand in my country and available in here. So I figured out this Apple product.
Oh.
I make, I just used to buy on, like the online buy and sells sites. Some people who buy like contract phone don't need 2 phones. They sell it at a cheaper price. The moment I get off the plane, I sell it. I make my plane fare. I was allowed to have two laptops. So I traveled for 4 years without actually spending my own money. So that's how.
Yep.
Excuse me.
It's okay. So, I mean, the rules on that too, because I remember, so I used to live in New York and I had an Airbnb, and every time people would stay at my apartment on the Airbnb, I would see all of these boxes from all these Apple products, and they would just leave it in the garbage. So you couldn't bring it in the box, right? The laptops had to be outside of the box, everything like that, right?
No, so there, no. I mean, you can, but there's a limit, and I never exceeded the limit. I've always buy. You can, as a person, you can have like 2 laptops, 2 phones. So I'd buy maybe 2 laptops, 2 phones, 2 cameras, and that would cover my whole trip. And also to answer your questions is how I get into, the clothing. Then I started doing this research, and I came back and I asked by the time I have had like 2 people in my country working with me, and I asked them to send something as a sample. I want to test the market. I bring it in here. I put an ad on Kijiji. It's an online platform, buy and sell. Kijiji. So
I never heard of it, but
it's in Canada. It's really big. It's like Craigslist.
Oh, was it KIJI?
Yeah.
Yep. I bought hockey stuff. I bought hockey stuff off there.
I see. Yes. So then I started actually selling clothes from the back trunk of my car.
What?
In pizza delivery. So
no way.
I would, I said, wow, it's really doing well. And in that time, I did not have the luxury to start a business because I wasn't a permanent resident yet. I was in work permit.
Got it.
When I got the permanent residentship, I got my, I have this name and everything on place. I got my company formed and just left my job and started doing this thing.
Wow. And how long have you been just doing this?
Since 2016.
Dude, that's impressive.
That's 4 years now. Yeah.
I mean, what's been one of the things that you've kind of noticed about yourself? I mean, not to say that you've changed, right? But like, what's one thing that maybe just when you finally stopped delivering pizza and went on your own in 2016, what's one of those things that you were kind of like, all right, look, I got to step it up here, or this was a muscle that I didn't think I had that now I have?
I think I'm the more I'm growing up, the more I'm being more patient. I think this is one of the things I'm practicing every single day. And like, I still think that I didn't even start it yet. I'm still thinking that I'm just like trying to figure it out. I'm just being prepared for the opportunity, and there's lots of opportunity. It's not like, I'm just like more like about preparation. So when the opportunity arises, it's not too late to take the time to prepare. You're like right away ready. Right now, if you tell me that, hey, I want like 100,000 units
Yeah.
can tell, hey, I'm ready.
Got it.
And whereas like I've seen like a lot of people is like, trying to say, oh, so why is this, why is this big orders, or why is this, how I'm doing this? Once they get it, then they try to figure it out. But like I'm trying to figure it out beforehand,
And
knowing.
let it come to you. It makes a lot of sense. And I mean, the patience part, I think that's something that we practice forever, because shit is always going to come at us, no matter what we do. Good times, bad times, it's always going to be shit coming at us. So the more that we practice the patience and how we react to those things is kind of the game.
Yeah, and also like I think that like understanding people and not understanding people. Right now I have, I think, like 16 to 18 people works with me in the production side. So actually, like knowing that they are not working for you, but I'm working for them, is the most important part. Like someone's kids is sick, is actually, I feel like my kid is sick.
Yeah.
I don't have a kids, but like it's my problem because it's actually putting effect on my outcome of the.
How fulfilled do you feel when you live like that? Like, do you feel a sense of like fulfillment by doing those nice things?
If I die tomorrow, I will die happy.
Yeah, 100%. So, dude, tell me, because I mean, I love this, by the way. Like, this is my kind of conversation. I love these type of conversations. Tell me, kind of, you're setting the framework. You're ready for anything. But what's kind of like when you think about the bigger umbrella, when you think about whether it's brand or whether it's life mission, like what is this all kind of going into, right? Do you think about that, or you just kind of like let life?
I do. I definitely do. Like I have a vision. Like I think that the way it's just crazy maybe to some people to hear that, but like the way I see this in my head is had already happened, but I didn't catch up yet.
Mm-hmm.
If this makes sense. So like I have big visions. I want to do big things, but like everything comes down to those, like a sweater you're wearing right now. Hard work pays. So I'm putting a lot of work, lots of time, lots of hours. Lots of sacrifices. It's just not like, dude, like it's lonely, doing something. Sometimes your family don't understand you, your colleagues don't understand you, your friends don't understand you. Even sometimes you don't understand yourself.
Dude. Yeah.
So it's just,
how do you deal with that? Like, what do you meditate? Do you watch something? Do you tell your wife? Do you just hug your wife and just be like, oh, what do you do?
No, it's I'm telling you, like it's a lot of pressure. It's stress. It's a lot of stress. But like I do not meditate. I mean, I'm just like, I think like my wife tells me that I got the nerve. I have a thick skin, I have the stomach, like thick stomach to take any punches. But I think I do something funny, like I cook.
Oh, that's your therapy.
It helps me, like it's like I am like right in focus when I cook. Like I mean, like it's a meditation for me.
Yeah.
But it's rare now. I barely get time.
Mm-hmm.
And for the big brand vision and stuff like that, things are going to change. It doesn't work as maybe you wanted to go somewhere. There's so many different ways to get in there. There's not like a straight line.
That's why I asked, because like, it's funny because I used to be like, okay, like I want these things. And then that's my level, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, if I have got this much money and if I have this level of job, like when I was in my early 20s, then it's like, okay, you've made it. But once you're there, you're like, okay, what's next? You never really.
Yeah, like even for me, like even before getting there, I always like, I'll give you an example that we are working on a big, big collaboration campaign with David Rock.
Yeah.
But even before it started, I'm thinking of like, what's next?
Yep.
What next? Because I think the more you create, the more you will have opportunities.
Yeah.
And focusing on networking, number one. Networking, and I'm just like, I'm still in the giving period. Like I'm give.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you're in the DMs. You reply to me very quickly. I
try, yeah.
Thank you. No, I mean, are you managing all of the social right now?
Yes.
Or do you have somebody managing all of it?
I am. We've been quiet for last couple of months because I was dealing with some inventory which is left off, and we are hard hit by the COVID-19, and no one is an exception, So the thing I was going to tell you is like, it's good to have a plan in place, but like never stick to your plan. Always be like water. Whatever like pot you put into, you need to get that shape.
Yep.
If you don't, then you're you're like screwed.
If you do, then it's going to be more frustrations because you're going to hit the walls more. When you're
Just think of like
flow with it.
absolutely. Just think of like one thing that like how many plans we have had, and like that until someone in Asia, in China eat a bat, and we're all screwed.
Yep.
Right?
And how do you think about that? I mean, there's a lot. Obviously, the first 2 weeks were like, oh my God, the world's melting. I can't believe, like my mind goes, I can't believe how fragile the economy is. I can't believe how one pandemic can literally wipe all of us out and we're all home, like we're wearing masks. It's a different world. But then the other part of me is like, after maybe 3 weeks, I'm like, this might be the perfect reset for life.
Absolutely. Not even after 3 weeks. I can tell maybe some people is going to hate me. I know that some people lost a loved one and, did all those things, but like, this is the best thing that could ever happen for the humankind, the way we're operating our life and the whole planet. I think this is the best thing that have happened after a long time.
Yeah.
We are actually like, it's a reset button. We're looking into like why we're doing things, why we're over consuming.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are the virus for the planet.
Yeah.
So many places. No one. So one of the things I saw on the internet, someone says like, if tomorrow, like all those, what viruses or bacteria die, we will not survive. We're going to die too.
Really?
But, yes.
Huh.
Yes. But if we die tomorrow, the planet will flourish.
Uh-huh.
When
you put it, I mean, look, it's not to say, because I have friends that have lost people, right? So when it's like, when it hits you that way, when it's that close to home, you feel it, because it becomes more serious. It becomes more real. It becomes more like you could touch it. But I mean, it doesn't take away from the fact that, like, yes, like me, someone who's selling products in the IT space, who, I don't know if you look at my Instagram, I used to be traveling all over the place, not even thinking about it. Go, 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 go. Now, being home for the last 9 weeks, having to operate my business from right here. Like, this is it. Like, this is my office.
And look, we are having this conversation. You got so much time. We didn't have time like 2 months ago. We never had time. But now look, all this time.
There's no way I would have got you 9 months ago. There's no way. And there's no way I would have had time to do this, right? I would have, it would have been the same as we were doing before. And it gave me the space. It gave me the space to slow down. It gave me the space to create something like this, that now through this conversation, right? As much as we feel like, okay, this is just a conversation, this touches people outside who maybe need it. Yes. And I think that just by us doing it, it's going to create that opportunity for other people to fulfill on it, to fall into it, and then other people to see themselves. So this is something beautiful that comes out of this pandemic. Right?
Absolutely. And also, we need to think of one thing, if we look the bigger picture, I mean, it's love, like we love people, we love our family, but if you look the bigger picture, nature don't care about your love. Nature just want us to reproduce, to keep the race going.
Yep, 100%. I mean, that's just like, we fall into our instincts. We fall into, like, we're humans. We fall into our behavioral norms. We have habits, right? We don't think about it. Like, you consume plastic. There's all these things, even though we know, like, climate change is so real and so like prevalent, and we just continue to do it because we're humans. We're just kind of like blah, blah, blah. But then this kind of resets us. We're like, oh, we started to think about more things. Hey, maybe I should be more conscious with the environment. Or, hey, look at the results of the world slowing down or shutting down. Look at the skies now.
Yes.
I mean, Canada is a little bit, I think, more responsible than the U.S. I don't know how you guys look at us, but like, I love Canada. You guys are just much nicer than us, I think. I don't know if that's just the air.
No, we're always like 99.99999% people are positive and nice, kind. It's just like Gary always talks about this. It's just like negativity is louder than positivity. What makes it? What makes the news? Either it's a controversial or it's a bad thing. You know, that's the thing. And we're reading the news, you know,
Yeah,
but like same, we're the same, you know, it doesn't matter like the border or the line, anything, we're the same human.
yeah, we are. 100%.
Media, yeah.
We are the same. We have much more.
Nice. You are nice. The people in USA is nice, definitely nice.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. No, dude. Okay. Thank you so much. You've been super generous with your time. Let's wrap it up. So let's do this. Why don't you kind of like, you know, tell everybody who's listening, you know, there's like 24 to 36 people who listen to my podcast. You're episode 7. So why don't you kind of tell them where they can find you, kind of what you're up to. And then, you know, what I want to do is like buy a few hoodies and then give them away. So we'll do that on the DM after, and then we'll promote that after. So kind of just tell them really quick, and then I'm going to ask you a question to wrap up the podcast. Okay, yeah, sure. So right now we are actually working, you know, I mentioned David Rock. We are working on a gratitude campaign where we came up with a grateful hoodie. It says grateful in the front, XO on the sleeve, and happiness is success. This is what we're driven by. I think everyone should focus on happiness. You know, if you're happy, you're successful. You know, doesn't matter if you're not happy, you know, doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account, your life is miserable. So this is a great product. We've been working for the last 9 months. So many, you know, like different testing and things that we changed. And finally we have a final product. It's going live in, I think, within next 3 to 4 days. Oh, perfect. Pre-orders. Nice. Yeah, and this is the biggest campaign we've been, like, I think that in my full 4 years journey, this is the biggest campaign we're going to launch in 4 days. And people can find me on social media. It's, like I said, that I handle my social media, so I better give my business one. Yeah. It's wildhood_ in Instagram, Wildhood Clothing at Facebook, and wildhoodclothing.com or wildhoodclothing.ca, our website. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you, dude. I mean, yeah, I'll definitely be online for the Grateful hoodie. That's going to be dope. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. D-Rock is amazing. I met him once at a signing. Gary's amazing. All those guys are super inspirational figures. So the question that I ask everybody on this podcast, and then, you know, based on the conversation, you have your answer. So it's discover the blank in you by listening to the blank in them. Okay. Discover the strength in you by listening the negativity in them. Got it. I love that. That makes sense? Yeah, dude. Are you kidding me? Like when somebody said something negative to me, I go opposite. I go straight optimistic on them when they go there, and there's strength in that. I find that as a strength. Absolutely. I don't fall into it. It's kind of like, you know, sometimes people go negative and then you feel, oh man, you know, like, no, yeah. So yeah, that's right. Yeah. Like discover the strength in you by listening the negativity to them or something you said. Yeah. And them. Love it. All right, perfect. All right, dude, we're going to 3, 2, 1 it. We're going to close it out. Thank you so much.
So I'm thankful. You know I got to get it to the bank. Close facts, bro. Facts, bro. These is all facts. Big